There has been a lot of debate about exactly what Luke's motives were going in unarmed to Jabba's palace with a ridiculously elaborate escape plan. A lot of fans have criticized this as either a very poor decision on his part, or as the writer focusing more on being cool than on being practical. I, however, have a different idea about the whole ordeal. Here's why Luke's plan to rescue Han was brilliant and diabolical. First, let's recap the plan and keep track of the plot holes. He sends the droids in as a gift in hopes Jabba will be willing to barter for Han's life. Obviously, this is just a ruse to sneak his lightsaber into the sail barge. But how did he know they'd end up on the sail barge? Then he sends Leia disguised as a bounty hunter to threaten Jabba and hand over Chewbacca. Obviously, he doesn't plan on leaving Chewbacca prisoner, but how were they going to get him out after Leia saved Han? Then he shows up unarmed, makes a half-assed attempt to shoot Jabba, nearly gets killed by the Rancor, and then gets sentenced to be executed in what is conveniently the one place his crazy plan could actually work. Okay, let's add one little factor to this that people often forget about. Luke is a Jedi, or almost one. He has a certain code of conduct to follow. He has to give Jabba every opportunity to resolve this peacefully. Only then is violence allowed. Now look at Luke's face here when he finds out how he is to be executed. This is the outcome he has been hoping for. This is where the Force has been guiding him. Keep in mind that we have seen in the past the Force is not an exact science, and Luke is still pretty new to this whole predicting the future thing. So that thing in the Rancor pit was probably less a plot hole and more a genuine oversight on his part. So let's take one of these away. Anyway, going back to the beginning. He sends the droids knowing they will end up on the sail barge because he has Lando working on the inside. Lando would know that Jabba has an opening for an astromech on the barge and is in need of a new interpreter. Heck, Lando could have been the one who sabotaged the other droids. He sends Leia and Chewie because he needs other capable fighters around. They do end up being pretty useful. Keep in mind also that Lando knew Jabba had an opening for a slave dancer, so Leia might have known full well what she was signing on for. She jumps right into the action when everything goes down, after all. Remember again this happy look at being executed, and this creepy line.
That's not the last mistake you'll ever make.
Yeah, this happens right after the Rancor ordeal. Luke didn't know or think about the Rancor, so he was expecting that whole sentencing thing to occur back when he pulled the blaster on Jabba. I mean, come on. What was he going to do? He's surrounded by armed bounty hunters and guards. Did he really think he was going to shoot everyone in the room? No. He was planning on getting captured. Which leads us to the most unsettling realization in the whole movie. You see, Luke is a Jedi initiate, so he has to try to solve things peacefully. He can use violence when peace fails, so certainly he could have walked into Jabba's palace and killed anyone who got in his way while he rescued Han. But that would leave a lot of people alive, a lot of dangerous people. In fact, Jabba probably wouldn't physically try to stop him, which means he would be leaving the dangerous crime lord alive to come after them someday. Luke was from Tatooine. He would know all about Jabba, his relentless henchmen, maybe even his tendency towards theatrical executions. Luke needed an excuse to kill everybody present so that no one could come after them later. I mean, there might be some people left behind at the palace, but all of the people closest to Jabba, all of the most dangerous ones, are at that pit. Luke showed up at Jabba's palace that day with the purpose of killing everyone there. That's why he delivers this chilling line.
That's not the last mistake you'll ever make.
Ugh. Luke is actually kind of a diabolical maniac. He found out how to kill an entire palace full of people while still technically following the Jedi Code. This becomes even more eerie when you consider that Luke seems to have studied the specs of the sail barge and knows exactly how to blow it up.
Point at the deck!
And then, finally, there is the question of what purpose does this sequence serve in the movie? Is it just an interesting side quest for our heroes to go on that gives us a break from the Empire? Or could it perhaps be some foreshadowing showing us that Luke Skywalker is a formidable strategist and predictor of the future, for later in the movie when he goes up against the most powerful mastermind the galaxy has ever seen.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
Your faith in your friends is yours.
Well, what do you think of my theory? Let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up while you're at it, and if you're ready to make the big commitment, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? Be sure to watch my videos detailing my theories about Jar Jar Binks and the prequel trilogy in general, and no matter what you do, thanks for watching.